unapologetic, unadulterated, and uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting superfortress of intelligent black thought. This is the BlackChannel.net radio program, and I am, of course, your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Glad to have you all with us here today. I definitely wanted to weigh in on a few things here. Well, I want to play for you real quick because there's a lot going on right now. Let's just get right off into it here. As you all know, I was born and raised in Louisiana. Dallas, Texas is my old stomping grounds. And as such, I keep an eye on certain things there. And for those of you who are not aware, in Dallas, in an area of town that's not predominantly black, because Dallas doesn't really have that like that anymore. But there's an area that does have a sizable black presence in it at an apartment complex in Dallas. And a white female police officer claims that she came home to her apartment, but that she went into the wrong one. And there was a black male there, and she shot him dead. Nothing about an altercation, nothing about her being threatened, not anything. She claims she went to the wrong apartment, and that she shot the black male resident dead. Now, what happened was she entered this black man's apartment, claimed she thought it was hers, and shot him dead. This sounds like colonialism run wild, is what it sounds like here. Their Dallas Police Department is claiming that they turned the case over to the Texas Rangers. I guess David Duke and the Ku Klux Klan were not available. You might as well have brought in Richard Spencer and the alt-right to investigate this case at this point. Few things I want to get into about this case, though. A lot of ground to cover on it, and we're going to try to do that as quickly and concisely as possible. Now, first, what I want to do here is I want to show you a video. This video was uploaded by a Facebook user, Tiffany Lee, and she went there to the apartments and got a fellow who lives there to show you the apartment doors and how the doors work at this apartment complex. Because most people who live in apartment complexes are pretty much used to a standard key and lock, but that's not the way that these doors work at this apartment complex. These doors don't work with a traditional key and lock. I'll show you the video.
You don't mind being on?
No, I ain't sure. Was it a personal page?
Yeah, it's a personal page.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm here at the south side of Lamar. I ran into a gentleman who's actually going to show me how the keys work to the door. So this is his apartment.
It's not my apartment.
Okay.
It's locked right now, so
Right.
when the key fob go in, it turns green, you can turn it, boom.
It opens up when it turns green. Okay. All right, and that lets you know that that's your apartment. But if it's not your apartment, okay. So now we're gonna walk over to his neighbor's apartment.
So it's like it.
So if it doesn't work, if the key doesn't fit and it doesn't work, it's not gonna turn or do anything. Do you see this? It's gonna turn red. So we have some inconsistencies in the story, because even if you thought that was your apartment when it didn't open, then what do? Like if it doesn't open, right? Okay, y'all, just coming to y'all with tidbits of information. This is Southside of Lamar, 1210 Southside, regarding the officer-involved shooting that occurred yesterday.
So there you have it. As you can see, you can't accidentally enter that apartment. Someone would either have to program your key fob to be able to open the door, or you'd have to knock on the door and get the person to open it for you. In either case, if she lived there, that door was not accidentally opened. Now, if this had been a citizen who shot a cop, particularly a black person who shot a white cop, they would be in jail right now. They would be held without bond right now. and they would be facing capital murder charges right now. It wouldn't be, oh, well, we're still investigating. They haven't released the cop's name. They haven't released the cop's identity. There is a video going around that shows her pacing back and forth, but they haven't released any information on them. They are withholding all information. Now, I want you to remember something here. And I might get into some of these other things later, because there are reports that this female cop may have known this guy, in which case now it becomes capital murder. As a matter of fact, it should already be capital murder, but this is what a race war looks like. This is what it looks like. When Richard Spencer and friends said they were not playing fairly, this is what he meant. They don't believe in fairness. This is what he meant. This is what a race war looks like. I'm just the messenger. But there are reports that she may have known this fella. Those are uncorroborated at this time, but we definitely need to be asking. We need to ask that in every police shooting, period. But in this one in particular, we need to be asking that. We need to be asking, how in the world did she think that was okay? What was her real reason? Because the one she's given is bullcrap. What's the real reason that you went to that apartment? What's the real reason you went there? We need to seize her cell phone, her laptops. We need to take her social media. We need to get her family's information. We need to be turning this upside down. But you see, it is impossible for citizen journalists to do that when the police are withholding information. That's the real reason why in these cases that the police try to prevent information about the murdering cop from getting out, because then you give us the ability to independently investigate these people. And their intent is to prevent that, to prevent any type of independent investigation. You just take our word for it. This was what happened. That's why they don't want to release the identity of these people when they kill black people, because they don't want an independent investigation where you can look them up for yourself and see what really happened. And right now, the Dallas Police Department, with their black front people, the Negroes minding the store, are in full cover-up mode. Now, I do want to remind you that just a few years ago, Dallas, Texas was the site of an alleged mass shooting of police officers. Some people think it was self-defense. Other people think that something other entirely happened. Regardless, please remember that one of the cops who was killed, Lorne Aarons, was a white supremacist. His Facebook page, his tattoos, this was a white supremacist. And the police claim that a young black man named Micah Johnson committed the act. That's what they claim. And I present to you that this killing, among others, is retaliatory, or possibly retaliatory murder against black people by individuals who see themselves as avenging what happened, allegedly, by Micah Johnson. No, it's not lost on me. These are individuals running around, male and female, looking for soft targets. Now, this fella, he came from, I think, San Lucia. He was very well educated, very intelligent as it seems here. Although, there is a picture running around, and it kind of makes you wonder here what his priorities were. I'm not going to speak ill of the dead if I don't have to, but I'm taking a look at the picture here. Now, we're getting reports, and like I say, these are not corroborated because the Dallas Police Department and the Texas Rangers are refusing to do so, but the streets are talking and social media is lit up about this. News One has posted articles in other places. If you type in her name, Amy Geiger, that's Amy, A-M-Y, Geiger, G-U-Y-G-E-R. And after doing some digging around, I found some interesting things about it. If it's to be believed that this is the person. They are saying in various places that this is the cop who did the shooting. There are people who are saying that the Texas Rangers released her, which means that she's armed and dangerous and on the streets is basically what it says to you here right now. There are other news sites, there are other websites out there trying to say that, well, she's not verified. Well, no, she isn't officially verified, but certainly there's enough information here. There are people who are saying that there was a connection between these two, that these two may have dated, that he may have had pictures of her on his Instagram. And there's also this one picture that shows him with his arms around all of these non-black women here, and they're saying that she's the one on the right wearing the sunglasses, which may be a connection between him and her because they're the only two wearing sunglasses in the picture. But in any case, they're saying that she's likely the one wearing the sunglasses, and that she has, since that picture was taken, that she's colored her hair. So I'm looking at those teeth, and that, when you get a close up of those teeth, that sure starts to look kind of, it could be a match. I am not necessarily saying anything right now. The Dallas Police Department and the Texas Rangers have certainly done everything that they can to try to obfuscate this and to try to make this as difficult as possible and to impede our ability to investigate this in any way, because they are playing deadly games that they see themselves as at war, particularly against the black population. But there are other pictures, if this is the one. If this Amber Geiger is the one, and I have to stress this because that's due diligence, but we're going to proceed if this is the one. First of all, there were other pictures that I found of her by searching online. When you look on her family's pages, because the police, and they've taken her stuff down in social media, either her family, friends, or maybe even the Dallas Police Department themselves have taken down her social media accounts. So just that quickly, they have attempted to scrub and sanitize her from social media just that quickly. This is how seriously and deadly that they're taking this. Just that quickly, they have attempted to scrub and sanitize the internet of this individual. But if there are some pictures that I found that are posted in various places. This woman, Tiffany Lee Billions, is doing a lot out there in Dallas. But I did searches in other places, and other places have found, there are some pictures I found. This one in particular, you can see with her family is who it appears to be. Not sure if that's her mom, aunts, whoever they are, sisters or whatever. But these are her family, of their family and friends. So we got, is this mom over here wearing an All Lives Matter t-shirt? Well, there goes your alt-right, Rush Limbaugh, Fox News, we don't like black people response right there. There it goes. So if this is the cop, this explains everything. This explains absolutely everything about who she is and what she is. But then go ahead and take a look at this other picture. If that was not enough evidence for you, as if that was not enough, you take another picture here, and she's standing with, looks like the same brunette here before here is, no, it's the same two women. Is that her mom? And I don't know who the other woman is. That's her sister or whatever. But she's standing with this woman who looks like it could be her mother again. Not sure if that's her father next to her on her right. But then you see this other guy next to her on the left. I don't know if she's related to him or whatever. But this guy is clearly throwing up that alt-right OK symbol. And you notice they're doing this lately. You saw this during the confirmation hearings for Brett Kavanaugh for the Supreme Court. The woman behind him was throwing up that OK symbol that the alt-right white supremacists throw up, only she was throwing it up upside down. That seems to be something they've done. Understand that these people believe in symbology. They also believe in trying to hide it through what's called inversion, which is where you turn a symbol upside down or inside out. So instead of showing the regular OK symbol with your three fingers pointing upward, they're starting to do this thing now where they're pointing them downward. So they're trying this inversion of it to try to give themselves plausible deniability, but we are on the case here. So I gotta tell you, this woman is swimming in alt-right white supremacist ideologies and symbology all around her. Lauren Aarons was just the tip of the iceberg in Dallas. Lauren Aarons was just the tip of the iceberg. Now, if it's uncorroborated and unconfirmed, if there was a relationship between these two, and I'm telling you right now, there are a lot of you dumb dog stupid people out there, particularly black males, need to stop talking dumb. This is not about a sexual relationship. Oh, she got in the bed with him and boy, she just went crazy because all these things he was doing. Stop talking like a moron. So many of you were raised by hoes and hood rats that you come to serious situations talking like hoes and hood rats. This is not the time for you to tap into your single mama bastard baby maker whorehouse culture side of the family, fellas. The question here isn't were they in a romantic relationship. We can see her connections to white supremacist ideologies and principles. That's the point. And if they were in a relationship, this tells you just how out to lunch or how deficient his parents were in raising him. That he was sitting next to a female who was surrounded by racist white supremacist symbology and ideologies, and either he didn't see them, because his family's not originally from America, either he didn't see them or he did not take the threat seriously. Either he didn't recognize them or he refused to acknowledge them and gave into some, well, that's her family, but the apple falls way away from the tree. And what you guys are finding out is that we've done a bunch of stories about how black women are being killed by racist white males. We're not doing nearly enough coverage about how this kind of thing happens. It doesn't happen nearly as often, not even close to nearly. But the fact that we are so easily taken unawares and led into situations like this, that you're sitting up here telling yourself that some interracial sexual conquest is worth your life. And that very well may be what happened to him. If I seem like I'm being sparing about touching on this point, it's because until we've actually officially corroborated it, you never know. This could be a disinformation campaign. I'm not really one for going off half-cocked on things. Not really sure what's going on with this Geiger. I'm not sure if Geiger is the one, but even if she isn't, this damn sure needs to be investigated. Even if she isn't. I'm just going theoretically if she were, but even if she isn't, and I'm saying, okay, that's likely too. Well, okay, if she isn't, then what? Still need to look into this person, by the way. Still need to look into this because there's a whole bunch of smoke and fire around here. But right now, this is where the situation stands. They've declared all-out open war on you. Neely Fuller talks about the 7 areas of human activity, and here we've gone sexual and warfare. There you go. If you don't believe that it's a war zone out here sexually, maybe this will help open the eyes of a few people. This begs a lot more questions now, doesn't it? But we'll have to come to that at another time. But there is a reason why I'm going to touch on this case, and then I'm going to have to leave it alone. And I meant what I just said. I touched on this case. A lot of people are going to be talking about it. But I'm going to have to touch on it, and then I'm going to have to leave it alone. And the reason I'm going to have to is because there's a story from WFAA that pretty much says it all. I'm going to read from the article here from WFAA.com by Alicia Ibrahimi. Says that a 5-year veteran of the Dallas Police Department was going home after a more than 12-hour shift and said she went to the wrong apartment believing it was hers. Why they would include in here that she had worked a 12-hour shift, this is the media trying to run interference and do what they always do, which is try to defend and explain away the murder. Now, I also want to include here that Botham, this guy, he went to school for accounting at Harding University in Arkansas. According to the university, he frequently led worship for chapel and for campus events. This was a fine, upstanding citizen. But understand, the police and the media are going to try to turn his life upside down. If they can find a parking ticket, they will post stories talking about Botham Jean, who had 3 parking tickets, was shot by a Dallas police officer. That's what the racist white media is going to do. So they're going to search for anything they can find to try to smear his character and try to make some sort of moral justification for his murder. Well, you know, I mean, he didn't return a library book back in '88, you know. So, you know, when he was in kindergarten, he colored outside of the lines. When he was in 2nd grade, he threw a spitball at a little girl's hair. So, clearly he was a troublemaker. This is what a race war looks like. 5-year veteran in the Dallas Police Department, the officer was going home after a more than 12-hour shift and said she went to the wrong apartment, believing it was hers. As you all saw in the video, that's very difficult to believe, but okay. At some point, she encountered 26-year-old Botham Jean, who she shot with her service weapon. The details that led up to that moment are still not known. The officer was in full uniform when the shooting happened just after 10 p.m. Thursday in the 1200 block of South Lamar, about a quarter mile from the Dallas Police Department. So in other words, a quarter of a mile. She was home, or at least at the apartments, within minutes. So much for that 12-hour shift excuse. She went to the wrong apartment. If she was inside, that means it was forcible entry and she came with her gun out. Why didn't she call for backup before she tried to go in that apartment? She couldn't have opened the door herself. She didn't have a key fob to open it, as you all saw. Why didn't she call for help when she came to her apartment and there was someone there? Why didn't she call for help? Why didn't she call for backup then? That doesn't make sense. The story that does make sense is you went into the apartment, you knocked on the door, and understand something here. She went to this apartment after 10 p.m. This is the middle of the damn night. She goes to this apartment in the middle of the night. And in the middle of the night, even if she thought it was her apartment, why didn't she call for help? She didn't call for help. And why would he let her in if it was her apartment and he was an intruder? Why would he let her in? You didn't. She knocked on the door with murder as the intent. A 4th grader could make this case, but the Dallas District Attorney's Office is going to tell you, don't know how we can make it, don't know how we can do it. Just can't find enough evidence. Can't understand the motive. Maybe if you seized her cell phone and her laptop, you would find a motive, because you would definitely do that with anybody else. Maybe if you seize her cell phone and her laptop, you will find a motive. Or at least the motive will become a lot more clear. But she did not gain entry lawfully at 10 o'clock at night. She saw him, either because she knew him beforehand or whatever the case may be, and she saw a soft target that she believed that she could come up with an alibi, an excuse for murdering him. Story goes on to say the officer called 911 and authorities responded and took Jean to the hospital. Now, this is after she shot him, where he was later pronounced dead. According to Chief Hall, it's unclear what the interaction was between the officer and Jean. Hello, Miss Minding the Store, Chief Jean. You don't know what the interaction was? You haven't investigated this? Or is it that your officer is not talking? And if that's the case, why is it that this news story and the Dallas police chief are not telling the public the officers clammed up and won't give us any details or explain how this killing occurred? Why is it that that's not the headline of the story? Dallas police officer murders black man, refuses to talk. Shouldn't that be the story's headline? Dallas police officer murders unarmed black man in his apartment, refuses to talk. That's what the headline should be. But this is a race war, so that is not what the headline will read. A blood sample was drawn from the officer to test for alcohol and drugs. Now, that's actually the Rosie scenario. If she tests positive for alcohol or drugs, she can claim she was under the influence of something. Of course, that shines a bad light on the Dallas Police Department because you've got a drunk or a druggie working for you. But believe it or not, that's the Rosie scenario. That would constitute manslaughter. Unfortunately. The not-so-rosy scenario is if her toxicology tests come back clean, that she was of sound mind when she did this. She wasn't under the influence of anything. That means she did this of her own volition and of her own clear-headed judgment. She did not believe she was threatened. She did not think she was walking up to the right apartment. You can't say that. Not anymore. Chief Hall invited the Texas Rangers to conduct their own independent investigation. You might as well have called Richard Spencer and the alt-right to conduct the investigation. At least then we would have proper expectations. Dallas Police Department says they're conducting a joint investigation with the DA. The Foxes are announcing that they are investigating who raided the chicken coop. The Foxes have announced that they are launching an investigation of who killed 4 hens in the hen house. So don't worry, the Foxes, don't worry hens, the Foxes are on the job of investigating what happened. Now, here's where the story takes an unfortunate but all too familiar turn. They talked to his mother. The story says Allie Jean, Botham Jean's mother, said she wants transparency from the police officer who shot her son. This next sentence is cringeworthy and depression-inducing. It says, quote, she says, quote, "Come clean. Speak the truth. I'm a Christian and I will forgive you. I am a Christian and I will forgive her, but she could never give me my son back," said Jean's mother. And at this point, brothers and sisters, we're done. At this point, it's over. At this point, we're through. We're through. We don't have a leg to stand on. We have no way of pushing a prosecution. And whatever punishment we actually could get will be sparse at best. There's nothing we can do now. The media and the Dallas Police Department are going to say, the mother has forgiven us. Why come you all can't get over it too? How are you all going to be more outraged than the woman who brought him into this world? She's not as upset over it as you are, so You can't claim to be more upset than the family is. When that Officer Gilbert shot the 15-year-old, the reason that you were able to get him in prison for years, because the family didn't come out talking about forgive. At least they were quiet enough not to let that become the narrative. But when you come out of the gate talking about forgive, they are going to put his mother on TV every opportunity that they get, and the reporters are going to ask this black woman something that they never ask white people. They're going to ask her, do you forgive the police officer who killed your son? They never ask white people that. They never ask white people if they forgive anyone. Black folk, they always ask us that because they know that Negroes are subservient-minded and will deliver the defense for the people who kill us. That's his mother talking. Forgive. And at this point, the Dallas police and the Dallas media and the white corporate racist media establishment, industrial complex, are going to kick into routine mode, and they know exactly what to do with this. They know exactly what to do, and they know exactly where they're going to go. And our hands are tied. We don't have a leg to stand on. Our hands are tied. The family has come in and cut our knees out from under us. So we can be outraged. We can do all the investigation of this we want to. We can turn the town upside down, and it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make a difference because there's not very much we can do about it now. That's the problem. There isn't actually very much we can do. There isn't. We are in a hell of a jam. But I'll tell you what I will do. What I will do is I will do my part to sound the alarm. I will do my part. And Dallas, congratulations. You just got pushed to the front of the line as far as what we're going to do regarding sounding the alarm that we are in a race war. You just got pushed to the front of the line. And I'm going to do my part within the next 7 days to put this issue front and center. Absolutely. And you all are going to be hearing about it. I assure you. You will be hearing about it. Absolutely. Because his mother might take this sitting down, but as a black male who's been to Dallas and frequently goes to Dallas, I want to make it very clear that we know what you're doing and we know what you're trying to accomplish. And we're going to sound the alarm, and we're not going to wait for someone else to do it for us. Brothers and sisters, we should be concerned. We should absolutely be concerned. This is what's happening now. If you have not been to our website, racewarmovie.com, that's racewarmovie.com. The film is going to be opening across America here next month, including in Dallas, Texas. Dallas should be filled to capacity. We should have 10 straight sold out screenings of this. We will find out how seriously Dallas takes their situation. That's what we're going to find out. We are going to find out just how seriously Dallas takes the threat. We're going to find out if they take the threat seriously at all. If they do, we'll see. We're about to find out just how seriously you believe that you are under threat. Or if you believe that, hey, it's just another day at the office and what the hell. Hopefully today my number doesn't come up. Let's just go to Papa Do's.
We want to talk about the man who was shot.
This is what we're up against now. This is what we're up against. I'm going to do my part, you do yours. New York, Los Angeles, the race war comes home. And this concludes this special edition of the BlackChannel.net radio program. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.